Welcome back to Adventures with Vehicles. I'm Joe. We're going to be working on an aluminum wheel today that was damaged by a pothole. We're going to clean this up, TIG weld it, show you what damage it is before and after, and what it takes to fix it. This is the smaller crack here, as you can see. Well, that's not the smaller one, that's the larger one. I don't know how it wasn't really leaking that much. Probably because the tire was seating on it, but you can see all the dirt and grime that's been in there. It's been broke for a while. It would lose air about every 2 to 3 days, and I don't know how it wasn't just like gushing out. And the other one was a smaller crack on this side. This will be the simple one. I'll get it cleaned up and clean it with some brake clean and get all this stuff out of the crack and put a little bit of a V in it and then weld it up. This one here, I'm probably gonna have to put a brass bar behind it and weld it as I go. I don't know, but we'll see what it's gonna take to get this fixed. I would just normally replace this wheel, but I was having a hard time locating a factory one nearby without having to drive 2 or 3 hours away, so I figured I'd try this first. Alright, I ground a little bit of a groove in there so I have a little bit more weld surface area. I'm going to weld on both sides. I got that cleaned up a little bit there. Did a similar thing there. Hopefully this dirt and grease and grime doesn't contaminate. If it does, I'll have to stop and grind it out, but I don't want to put too much time into this wheel. If it was a nicer wheel, I would clean it a lot better and try to make it look nicer, but like I said, this is just a factory wheel, so what I will do is take this out of the clamps, try to clamp it to try to bring this up a little closer, and I will weld on the inside down here first to try to bring this in tighter to close that gap. I don't know if you can see in here. I'll try to get the focus in. See if I don't know if you can see, but there's a crack that comes up to here and stops. Goes over here and stops. I'll see if I can find a pencil, run across it and try to find it, but I think I'll do that after I close this up, and then I'll focus on getting this crack taken care of. I'll just run the TIG welder across it, let very little filler rod on the inside and out, and see if I can get it to close up. But that hole's pretty big. For comparisons, this is a number 3 Phillips, and it just swims in there. Well, give you an idea, 1/2-inch wrench. I mean, it's a pretty decent sized hole. Got a ground clamped up, got a groove cut out, cleaned out. I got 2 different size filler rods. We're going to see which one welds best in here and go from there. I'm going to weld this and I'm going to flip the wheel. Zoom in on that a little bit so you can see it. I think I'm going to go ahead and try to stack a little bit right through here. I'm trying to do it with the least amount of grinding as possible. Got a little bit of contamination there. I don't know if that's from dirt or what. But there's this crack that runs right here. I don't know if you can see it through the camera, but I'm going to run just the tungsten across it. Now you can definitely see where the crack is, where the dirt pulled the dirt out. So I'll have to clean that with a wire wheel and get in there and smooth that out a little bit. Clean that before I go any further. That big of a wheel on this little grinder is dangerous. Now you can definitely see where it's been cracked for a while and all the dirt and grime that's in there. So I'll run the tungsten across it again with a little bit of filler, see if we can get that to float out, or we'll have to grind it out to where we get good metal. Hopefully you can see that in the camera right here. I'm going to try to adjust my camera just a little bit more to where you can see, and I can work and hopefully not block your view. Now I just went across here and floated that back across to smooth it out a little bit and bring the weld out a little further. Now this I'm going to try to feed from this side and weld from this side. See if it works. The hole's getting smaller, but the only problem is with this wheel, they had a CV axle that went bad at one time, and I should have cleaned it better, but give it a little bit of a try right now. You may see me moving my hand back and forth a lot. That's not me doing that intentionally. I have a messed up shoulder. Certain angles kind of make my hand shake, so it makes it a little bit more difficult for me to TIG weld at certain angles, but I usually fake it together. But that was a lot of material I had to put in there. I'm going to wire wheel it so you can see it a little better. Just because that was a big break. It just wasn't broke this way, it was broken. It was like went off in like 3 different directions with a hole. So now you can see where all that filler rod went in and made a big old mess. We're going to clean that up, weld that up, and add some more filler in there. I'll probably melt it with the welder right now, and then add filler wire while I'm doing it, and then grind it smooth. I'm probably going to put a big glob from about here to here. Even though my crack stops here, I'm going to go past it a good 1/4 inch. And that way I know I got a nice good seal all the way across here. Now if this was just something I was just welding, I would just weld right across there and maybe go 1 time the thickness of my TIG rod or a little bit more. But since this is cracked and this metal's been weakened, I'm just going to add some more filler in here. I was getting some contamination, but I would say it was where that crack had grease in it. And I just added more material in there to try to float that stuff to the top. Somebody's probably more experienced as well as aluminum on daily would probably tell me I'm doing that wrong. But I'm going to grind this out, smooth it out, and then any kind of holes or any kind of anything I see that has any contamination, I'll grind it, smooth it, add more material to it, and then fake it back together. Alright, we got this side ground down, smoothed out. I'm going to put a little bit of bead sealer in here just because it's a little bit rough, but a little bit high, a little bit low spots. Now, if I was using a lathe to smooth this out, you know, it would be a lot better. That's what professional wheel shops do. If you're doing something like this and you're in the Central Ohio area and you need something like this done, JD Nutter by Designs can do this. For I don't know what prices he charges. I've had him fix other wheels. Every wheel's different pricing. But a wheel like this, it would probably be, this is stock AUDI wheel. If you can find it, you could probably find it cheaper. You can get it repaired, or he will sell you another wheel. But me, I wanted to learn how to do this, so this is my first aluminum wheel done. This turned out okay. This outer lip here, I'm not worried about how ugly it is because that doesn't hold the air. Right through here, this is the important part. From here through here is the important part. So I'll slather some bead sealer across that and it should be good. Now on the inside, I just lightly knocked it down. I left it a little high because I wanted to keep some of that strength in there since this wheel's been weakened. Same thing with the other side. I left that weld alone. I didn't even grind it. On the inside, it turned out beautifully. I mean, so you can't be afraid to do stuff like this. So hopefully this helped. And alright, I know you guys are wanting to probably see this thing with a tire on it, make sure it don't leak. I'm getting ready. I just took some Dawn dish soap and put some water in it. The seat of the rim, across the welds of the rim, and I just ran around anywhere else, around the edge, front and back. No leaks. Everything seems to be good. Everything's welded up. So, catch you guys on the next one.